Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is probably one of the biggest Nintendo games ever. Literally think of any Nintendo character from any game, your favorite game, your least favorite game, and they're most likely in it. They probably could have chose better characters like Dry Bones instead of Duck Hunt for some reason. And while it's definitely up there for one of the best Nintendo Switch games ever, it's also up as a game that I lost. So instead of doing what a normal person would do, which is either rebuying the game or just moving on and just forgetting about it, I've decided to recreate Super Smash Bros. In Mario Maker 2. So step 1 was to make a plan of everything I needed to do to recreate Super Smash Bros. So number 1, and probably the most important of them all, is a character selection screen. Since this is probably the main selling point of Super Smash Bros, like all your favorite characters going head to head in battle, I decided to get to work on this part straight away. So before I even started with the character selector, I actually already knew how I was going to do it. And while it's not really a character selector, it's more a power-up selector, it still works. I just give them a choice between 5 different power-ups. Some of the power-ups are a lot better than the others, like the Acorn Suit or Yoshi are way too overpowered. Because when you have Yoshi, you can literally just eat them, shoot them out and they're dead, or with the Acorn Suit, you can actually just recover every single time you fall. And then there's power-ups like the Mushroom or the Fire Flower, which have absolutely no use. There's no way you can hit players with a fireball, you just go right through them. There's literally no reason to use these. And now that I've chose all the power-ups you're able to use, I need a way to block off all the power-ups once you've chose one. And this was pretty simple. Instead of just jumping straight up into the power-up, I made you hit a block which brings down a Thwomp, and that triggers a power block which drops coins down, they spawn a Muncher. It sounds complicated, but it's really simple. And now that we're done with the character selector, I just want to say one thing I haven't mentioned yet before we move on to step 2. So in exactly 24 hours from now, I'm going to be going against 3 of my viewers in this exact level that I'm making right now. And one of them is pretty good at Mario Maker 2, is all I'll say. Okay, now that you know the time limit, I kind of have to get working on the next step. And the next thing I have to make is elimination detection. So that's basically just if somebody dies, I have to have a way of detecting that so I can move the winner onto the next round. So there are 2 main ways of doing this. Either have a Thwomp at the bottom of the screen, so when a player goes right beside it, which means they're falling down, it's just hitting an all switch, which moves the other player onto the next round. Or the more accurate way, which is when a player respawns, they go through a door, and once 2 players have went through doors, it means 2 people have been eliminated, which moves the winners onto the next round. And while the second option does make the winners wait a little bit longer, it's definitely a lot more accurate, so it's the one I decided to use. And at this point I was ready to go to sleep and finish off the rest of the elimination detection in the morning, which gave me 8 hours to finish the entire level. Okay, so I might have slept in a little bit. Now I have 3.5 hours to finish the entire level. Let's just get on with this. Okay, so I knew what I was going to do for the elimination detection. Now I just had to make it, which is probably the hardest part. Okay, so I basically just made a wall explode once the player respawns. Then I have auto scroll bring them all the way over to the right. They have to go into this section here, and then once 2 people go in, it means 2 people have been eliminated, and I move the winners on. And now I'm not actually done with win detection yet, but first I'm just going to take a quick break and just show you how I made the arenas. Okay, so the first arena is pretty simple. It's just 4 bridges held up by a few tracks, a few mushroom platforms. That's basically it. It's pretty good for saves as well, because you can actually jump up through the platforms because they're semi-solids. Number 2 is definitely my favorite though, because there's still a chance, because of the springs falling from each side, that if you do get knocked off, you can still get bounced back on. Or there's another chance as well, if you're trying to make a save and get back on, you can actually get bounced straight back off, which does make the game a little bit random, but it's also a lot more fun. Finally, the third arena. This is where the final always will be. It's really simple, but I don't really want the final to be too short. All it really has is 3 different semi-solid platforms, and then it has 2 burners that alternate on each side. Pretty simple, but it's a good final. And there's lava at the bottom as well, so it's a lot harder to make saves. Okay, so step 3, the final step, is a bracket system. Right now all I have is a P-switch being activated when 2 players get eliminated, which basically does nothing. But I think I have a really easy way of fixing this. I'm going to place 2 P-switch doors per arena, and once they've been activated and the players have won, you're going to go into the waiting room for the final. And once 2 players are detected in the room by the 2 Thwomps, the Munchers will come together, kill the bomb, and then finally the pipe is open for the final. And at this point the level was coming to an end, but the time to make the level was also coming to an end. So while I speedrun through the rest of the elimination detection, I'm going to tell you about today's sponsor, the subscribe button and the notification bell. And there's 3 huge benefits to doing this. First of all, it's free. Second of all, you get notifications every single time I upload, which is twice a week on Wednesdays and Sundays. And finally, I can see a number go up, which makes me happy. I don't really know what else to say. Okay, so the level's done and it's 20 minutes till the competition, so I'm just going to explain how the competition will work. So to start the level, all 4 players choose their power-ups, then they move on to a 2v2 battle. The 2 winners of those 2v2 battles will be on to the final, and obviously the winner of the final wins the whole competition. And that's basically it, it's just that simple. Okay, so to start off, let's see what power-ups we all chose. So I chose the best one, probably Yoshi. Catsurfer also chose Yoshi as well. S6HYP sadly chose a useless one, which is a Fire Flower. And then this player here who wants to stay anonymous also chose Fire Flower. Okay, and for the first fight of round 1, we have Catsurfer on the right and then Toad on the left. But Catsurfer does have a Yoshi unless Toad can... No. Okay, and for the second fight, it's me versus S6HYP. They actually stole my Yoshi halfway through. So they have a Yoshi and a Fire Flower right now, which did not go well for me. Now that those games are out of the way, it's on to the finals, which is Cat Surfer versus S6HYP. And remember, Cat Surfer is the one who's way too skilled at Mario Maker. Okay, so just in case you forgot, Cat Surfer is Mario here, and then Toadette is S6HYP. So Mario is trying to ground pound Toadette, and Toadette's trying to eat Mario. But you actually can't do that until you ground pound them, unless Mario gets hit by a burner, then she can eat him. But I think Mario's actually going to win here. Yeah, Mario's won. But anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for 1,000 subscribers, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.